This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment, Radical Radio, and we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. Good Thursday morning. I'm pissed off as usual. I got up. I wasn't pissed off till I got up and I saw politicians walking the street. They're like roaches. No, I want to apologize to the roaches. The roaches only come out at nighttime. These politicians come out all the time. What rotten bastards they are. And let me tell you what. You no-count, low-life, good-for-nothing, son of a bitch, Mayor Mark Pussy Boy Eckert of Belleville. And I say Mark Pussy Boy Eckert, also known as Maximus Vaginus, if you know what I mean. You no good son of a bitch, you and that stinky black bastard. You got one white bastard and one black bastard. Bill Clay, the chief of police. What an embarrassment you are. You bastards try to come after Dallas Cook, and it didn't work again, did it? It's like the situation with me. 3.5 years, people. I want to keep reminding you. It cost the hard-working taxpayers $150,000 plus for them to try to put me in my place. What happened after 4 minutes? The jury came back, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Same way with Dallas Cook. Now, he's got 2 days, front page, top fold in the Belleville News-Democrat. I guess they tried to make him look bad, but he stood tall. Dallas Cook did nothing. But this no-count, low-life, good-for-nothing black bastard, and if he was polka-dotted, I would say polka-dotted bastard, Bill Clay, the chief of police. You need to be charged, Bill Clay, with malicious prosecution. You knew there wasn't a case there, but you're going to make it so Dallas Cook gets front-page coverage. And I talked to enough people yesterday and the day before. He did get front-page coverage, but I think it was positive. It was positive because now the people really know how petty you no-count, low-life son of a bitches are. Front page, top fold, prosecutor declines to issue charges against the city clerk, Dallas Cook. But what really kind of pisses me off, Belleville police brought the investigation to the state's attorney's office for an independent review. If the police had done nothing at all, there would be an appearance. They ignored a complaint against a public official, Brendan Kelly said. Hey, what about the complaint against your coffee-drinking, no-count, asswipe buddy, Coroner Rick Stone? What about everything that he's done? Serve all those papers for 10 years with no state license. Signed every affidavit saying that he did serve them. Used our county coroner's vehicle, unmarked, of course, with undercover license plates. There's no M license plates on Stone's car for 10 years. Used our gas, used our oil, our insurance, the wear and tear on the car. And you know what he says? Oh, I put gas in the car. I just didn't think it was important enough to get receipts and make a report of it for 10 years. The state fines him $10,000, says he's guilty of a Class A misdemeanor. So, Brendan Kelly, you talk about it would be an appearance that they ignored a public official. You've ignored Rick Stone for 2 or 3 years. And Brendan, you're a great family man. You're playing with the wrong crowd. You're up for an election this time, and people remember, as quick as we voted them in, we can vote them out. But it just really pisses me off. He says, Brendan says, if they had issued a charge themselves, meaning Belleville, they would be accused of getting involved in local politics. How hypocritical can you guys be up there, you stinky, rotten bastards? You put Dallas Cook through this crap, but only for a couple days. I went through it for 3.5 years. But remember, taxpayers, hardworking taxpayers, they wasted $150,000 to try to put me in my place. And they did not put me in my place. The only place they can put me in is 6 feet under. Because that's the only way I'm going to quit exposing these no-count rotten bastards. Dallas Cook, a good man, trying to show transparency through his whole administration. But they're going to play. And this bitch, this stanky bitch, this white bitch, Rose Wilson, she's all up Kern's ass. She's personal friends with Dorothy Myers. That's the bitch that lost for her aldermanic position. That's the bitch that works for Kern. You see all this political inbreeding with these no-count rotten bastards. But Rose Wilson, she goes up there and stirs up crap. She's been doing it for 30 years at the courthouse. Hey, come down here, Rose Wilson, you stinky, rotten, skanky, white bitch. You can stir up all kind of crap. Hey, we'll leave a line open. 394-1190. Rose Wilson, I'm calling your stanky, nasty, greasy, old, wrinkled ass out. I don't give a damn how old you are. You got a mouth like a man. You talk worse than I do. You're a bigger bitch than I am. Rose Wilson, you can go to the meetings and talk. Why don't you give me a call, Rose Wilson? And that's the biggest problem. She's probably got bigger testicles than all those politicians because they put her out, an old lady out there on Front Street. You no-count rotten bastards. And Maximus Vaginas, Mark Eckert. What a waste of taxpayers' money. All the crime going on in Belleville. And you're going to waste and tie up the court system. You're going to tie up your police department. You no-count, low-life piece of crap. And people, do you notice? These no-good son of a bitches will never, ever defend themselves because they have nothing to defend. What I say is right. Mark, Pussy Boy Eckert, also known as Maximus Vaginas, give me a call. Give me a call. I will donate $10,000. People, listen to me. If I say something on the air and don't do it, it'll be a $20,000 fine. So I'll give you $10,000, Eckert, to come on my show and defend yourself for 1 hour. $10,000 for 1 hour worth of work. And then I will also, after that, you little bitch, I'll donate $10,000 to the hungry in Belleville. That's $20,000. And people, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I won't put my foot in my mouth like these rotten bastards do. But just remember, people, day after day, I expose these son of a bitches. I rag these son of a bitches. I demean these son of a bitches. I insult these son of a bitches. And what do? They stay in their little cubicle up at the courthouse. They're not going to fight. They're not going to fight someone. They're going to let it go, hoping it passes over. But this is not going to pass over, you guys. And the good people that listen to me and everyone in St. Clair County, they know what you guys are about. And it's not going to be pretty in 2016, but everyone, just remember that the politicians in St. Clair County, the St. Clair County Democratic Central Committee, these rotten bastards, they're going to screw us until we tell them we're not going to take anymore. Hey, I've got a little housekeeping with me today, a beautiful lady, Cherie Langenston. Langenstein, is that right, Cherie? Langenstein. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. You know, if I could talk, I'd make a good radio host. But Cherie, she's going to have an announcement for us. And when I get her on in just a little bit, as all my guests, the disclaimer goes out. Cherie is not here to endorse me. Actually, she's kind of cringing when I was speaking here just a little bit ago. She's here to make a few announcements. She's here to be transparent. She's here to tell us what's going on. She's not here to endorse my language, endorse my political philosophy, endorse this radio station. So just remember that. This lady was brave enough to come on the dark side, and I'm going to give her opportunity to say whatever she wants, is be as transparent as she wants, and that'll be momentarily. First, I want to say my deepest and sincere condolences, my heartfelt condolences, go out to Ed Scholler Jr. His pop died yesterday. Everybody knows Ed Scholler Sr. He's the one that that established the great place, Eddie's Bon Air. Fast Eddie's Bon Air, Bar and Grill, about 30 years. I don't have that information here, but he died yesterday. And it says in the paper of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, I didn't think the news media reported on suicides. I'm going to get off on a side note here. You know, it said that he was concerned about his declining health. And in this great country of ours, why can't, if we're so sick, if we're ate up with a disease, and I didn't know Eddie Sr.'s medical history, why can't we, as intelligent Americans, go somewhere, have our families around, say our last goodbye, and get a shot and go to sleep and then pass on? No, they want everybody to be in a nursing home slobbering at 80. And I don't want to disrespect anybody's family member that's been in a nursing home. But you go to these nursing homes, how morbid. That's worse than watching a horror movie. You got 80, 90-year-old people who had a great life, intelligent people, hardworking people. And you see them slobbering. They don't know where the hell they're at or what's going on. And we want to keep them alive. If we do, we keep them alive for us. See, our lives change whenever our loved ones pass. Their lives don't change when they're that old, that senile, sit around, don't know what's going on, been sitting in a nursing home for 5, 10 years. So, you know, if people want to take their own lives, I personally don't look down on it. Somebody will say, oh, he committed suicide. Maybe that's what was best for him. But I just say, and I would say this to everybody contemplating suicide, don't kill yourself, I don't think, if you're healthy. If you got some problems, work through them. But if if somebody's miserable and suffering, then that's on you. But don't take a gun or hang yourself in the living room of your house with kids coming back and forth, after you die. Go out in the field, go out by a pond and do it. But for people to say, hey, that's a morbid thought, no, it's not a morbid thought. It's a realistic thought. And we've got people in nursing homes that have been dead for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. And it's just it's a bad situation. But anyway, Ed Scholler Jr., I want to, again, give our best condolences, our sincerest condolences. I hope your pop rests in peace. He was a good man. He brought a lot of fun and enjoyment to many people throughout the years. So, again, Eddie Scholler Sr., please rest in peace. Let's take care of our little housekeeping. I'll rant and rave for a few more minutes, and then we're going to have Cherie Langenstein. I'll get it right. Is that right?
You did very well.
Okay, thank you. It's the first time I've had anything right this week, so I'll take that. Don't forget, Saturday, July the 25th, and Friday, July the 24th. At Crehan's in Belleville, their parking lot, the Texas-style barbecue. All the fundraising money goes to the Mid-America Horse Rescue. That's tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. and Saturday from 10 to 2 p.m. July the 24th and 25th, held at Crehan's in Belleville. The big Veterans Memorial event coming up this Saturday, July the 25th, Veterans Memorial Park in the great little village of Bunker Hill. They're going to have a barbecue cook-off, a poker run, live music by Whiskey River, bounce houses, 5K crawl and walk run, great food. They're going to have Steve Davis, Memories of Elvis, at 2:30. He'll be performing, and all the proceeds go to great causes, go to benefit the Veterans Assistance and the USO. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call Bob Bruman at the American Legion Post 578. Number is, don't have a telephone number. Yes, we do. You can contact Bob at 225-7534. The American Legion Belleville Post 1937. Their meat shoot this Sunday, July the 26th, starts at noon at 4901 Concordia Church Road at TR's place. Any questions or concerns, you can contact their commander, Jim Farbus, at 409-1212. Cruising with the Sons of the Legion. This Saturday, July the 25th, all vehicles welcome. Sign-in starts at 11 p.m. till noon. All vehicles $10. It's sponsored again by the American Legion, the Oakville Post 233. So get out to Oakville Post 233 and enjoy all the Cruising with the Sons of the Legion, this Saturday. Don't forget, you can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper Radio. You can go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for all three of our great stations. You can like us on Facebook, KQQZ 1190 AM, or our sister station at KZQZ 1430 AM. You can also hear my repeat performance every day at 4 o'clock p.m. and now broadcasting every Monday through Friday from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. On this date, July the 23rd, 1827, the first swimming pool in the United States opened in Boston, Massachusetts. Among its attendees was John Quincy Adams, way back in 1827. July the 23rd, on this date, 1903, the first Model A car was sold by Ford Motor Company. On this date, July the 23rd, 1973, President Richard Nixon refused to release tapes of the Watergate conversations relevant to Watergate. On this date, July the 23rd, 1982, Diet Coke was introduced. On this date, July the 23rd, 1982, actor Vic Morrow and two child actors were killed when a helicopter crashed on top of them while they were filming a war scene for Twilight Zone, the movie. That's what happened on this date, July the 23rd, throughout all these years in our world's history. One last thing, this Saturday, if I mess this up, Mayor Lonnie Yates from Summerfield will come out. He looks like, Hulk Hogan looks like him. I'm always afraid that if I get things screwed up for the good people in Summerfield, that Mayor Lonnie Yates will come out there and body slam me. But they're going to have a tractor pull at the Summerfield's Lions Club this Saturday, July the 25th. They're going to have a tractor pull, food courts, children's booths. They're going to start at 4 p.m. Registration's at 5, and the tractor pull starts at 6. They're going to have the Hooter Girls as their hostesses out there. They're going to have a nickel race. They've got something. They're telling all the young kids, bring their cars, their battery-operated cars. They're going to have a race for the young kids. Going to have a great time in Summerfield at the tractor pull this Saturday. If you have any questions or concerns, you can call Mike Richter at 410-1135 or Keith at 409-3416. And I want to say hi to all of our friends in Summerfield. Every time the radio station goes out there, they show us a great time. Hey, a good friend of ours, a true and proud member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, Mr. Ed Cockrell, is here to join us too. So, Ed, we'll get with you momentarily. So thanks for stopping by. What do I got to do before we talk to our beautiful guest here? Again, that situation yesterday in Belleville, I honestly, I believe this. I believe Eckert and Clay should be charged with some kind of criminal charge. You can't just go out in America and try to get somebody charged. Bill Clay, what a piece of crap. You're the chief of police. You got a gun. You got a badge. You lead the Belleville Police Department. You'll talk to the newspaper, but you no-count, low-life, black plantation Negro. You won't talk to me. You're all off those white boys' asses. You ought to be ashamed because the proud black community looked up to you at one time. The proud black community who are trying to get themselves up and out of the poverty and all the violence in East St. Louis and all throughout this county. You've got the opportunity, Bill Clay, to not only represent the professional police department, but to represent the proud black community. And you take that opportunity and you crawl all up Mark Sweet Cakes Kern's ass, God Sprague's ass, John Red on the Noodle, like a pecker on the poodle, Bear Civic's ass, and become a plantation Negro in the proud black community. They don't like you any more than I do, Clay. Give me a call. Defend yourself, you rotten bastard. You got a gun? Defend yourself. 394-1190. And before we take a quick break, I got to say, there's a big rift between the Democrats in St. Clair County. Blowjob, B.J. Barra Civic. 29-year-old little bitch boy wants to run for Congress. I don't even know if he could spell Congress. But anyway, his daddy, God Sprague, Sweet Cakes Kern, all the Democrats surrounded themselves. They all give him money. They all endorsed him for that position. And lo and behold, here comes the white knight. And I think this is what happened. I haven't got confirmation, but I can read through the lines. I think the white knight, ex-Congressman Jerry Costello, thought, we can't be embarrassed. All the years I was in Congress, professionally representing the people, doing a great job, we can't let something like this happen and have somebody like Blowjob Barasivic come to Congress and disrespect us, embarrass us. So I believe he went out and got Rick Watson, the sheriff. They went up to Washington, and I hear the Democratic Committee, the National Democratic Committee, that they're offering Rick Watson whatever he wants because they're so embarrassed. The National Democratic Committee is so embarrassed to have Blowjob Barasivic think that he can get the nod, knowing he can't win. So the Democrats in Washington are desperate. Now they tell me that Barasivic's mad at Costello because Costello tried to save some face for the Democrats. I say, watch yourself, Barasivic. Watch yourself, God Sprague. Watch yourself, Mark Sweet Cakes Kern, because Jerry Costello was no one to mess with. And I think you're going to get a tiger by the tail. See, you can talk in the back rooms. You can try to embarrass Jerry Costello. You can talk bad about him. But see, you bastards won't go to his face because that's the way you guys play the game. Last but not least, last opportunity for you, BJ, Blowjob Barasivic. I will be, and I said it yesterday, I will be your campaign manager for $25,000. That's all I want. If you don't want me to be your campaign manager, then it's going to be $50,000. But if I am your campaign manager, everybody needs a good slogan. I told you that yesterday. Here's what you do. You go around and you tell all these congressmen what a great guy you are. You get to become friends with everybody in Congress. Then our slogan can be, Blowjob Barasivic, that everybody in Congress wants a blowjob. That's Blowjob Barasivic, of course. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, and proud to be your First Amendment and all-American station, Radical Radio at its finest. And we are, as always, and stand tall to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio. And we are, as always, proud, very proud to be the Patriot. As I said earlier, we've got a beautiful lady, Cherie Langenstein, and also with me to just come in, our good friend, a proud member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, Mr. Ed Cockrell, who's also the New Athens Township Supervisor and a county board member out of New Athens. And again, the disclaimer, they both cringe when I talk, but that's okay. This is America, so don't hold anything I say. Don't say Ed Cockrell said this or Cherie Langenstein said that. Bob Romanik has talked up to this point, so blame it on this crazy son of a bitch, Bob Romanik. Don't blame anything that I've said on Ed Cockrell or Cherie Langenstein, because this is America, people. You may not agree with what I say, but you have to know that I do have the right to say it. Just drive through Jefferson Barracks Memorial Cemetery. Look at all the brave military heroes that fought and gave their lives to give me that right. And I say to you, kiss my ass if you don't think that I'm going to stop talking. I will not till the day I die, and I'm not being melodramatic. I will not let those brave military heroes die in vain. They fought to give me this right. They fought to give you the same rights I have. So get off your lazy asses and use them. This would be a lot better country if we all got off our asses. And Ed, I want to know, what was this bar of soap? What the hell? What does that mean? Why do you hand me this bar of soap?
You need to put it in your mouth. My mom would have done that for you.
Well. Hey, let's start off with Cherie Langenstein. Cherie, you're from Murfreesboro, Illinois.
I am.
And they say that you made an announcement yesterday and you want to make it here on the air today. So before we get going with anything else, go ahead with what you got to say to the good people.
I am a candidate for the 58th Senate seat. That's the Illinois State Senate, the seat that's being opened up by the retiring David Luchtefeld. I'm a Republican candidate. I'm from Murfreesboro. I'm a constitutional law attorney. And, if you get anybody coming after you for the stuff you're saying, I'm a First Amendment attorney. So you call me. I'll take care of you.
Now, you know what, Cherie, and I'm glad you brought that up. I saw you cringe when I said some of those things. But don't you agree that this is America, and and everybody listening has every right to say whatever they want to say?
Yes, absolutely. They're trying to kill off the First Amendment here in the United States right now, and I will absolutely defend your right or anybody else's right to say whatever the heck they want. So
you know what? You're a true American, and that wasn't scripted. I sincerely appreciate that. Cherie, let's get some of your experience and some of your education, and then we'll get into what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and what the future looks for you. What is your educational and experience background? I
have an undergraduate degree from Missouri State. I originally grew up in southern Missouri. So my undergrad is in creative writing. I also studied sociology there. Don't hold that against me. And I apologize to our listeners. I've been talking so much lately. I'm a little bit hoarse right now.
That's okay.
So, but then I have a law degree from SIU in Carbondale. Graduated in 1998. I was a criminal prosecutor for several years. I was an appellate prosecutor and I was an assistant state's attorney, and I also did some criminal defense work. And then I decided to kind of turn my career back a notch, started having children, started adopting children, and I stopped working for a while, and then I worked part-time for a while. And then lately, my law practice has kind of built up over the years. I do a lot of Second Amendment work. I'm known as the gun rights lawyer in Southern Illinois. So, and because of my expertise on the Second Amendment, the Illinois State Rifle Association approached me and asked me to do a little bit of lobbying for them, so I've been able to help them out in the Illinois legislature. I also am very close friends with Phyllis Schlafly, who's a conservative from this area.
Alton, right?
I'm her national chairman for religious liberty, which is another big First Amendment issue. So I keep a lot of the conservative leaders for Eagle Forum across the country informed on what's going on with First Amendment things. And so I try to defend our First and Second Amendment rights, both as a volunteer, professionally, and in every way that I can.
Well, I'll tell you what, your resume, I wish this was TV, we'd put it on the screen. Your resume is very, very impressive. And I won't ask a lady how old you are, but you really don't look that old to be every place you've been and everything you've done.
I don't mind saying how old I am.
Go right ahead.
I'm 44. I'll be 45 in September.
Well, you've had a full life. You got off your ass and did something, didn't you?
I tried to. I survive on not very much sleep, and it's okay. It's worth it to me. I like it. I'm up late at night doing a lot of my work so that I can spend more time during the day with my family. And I just, I think we all have to do our part, and I'm doing what I can. What
I see here, you've got a lot of campaign experience. You've worked with some people for governor, with Congressman Bost. Give us a little bit of your political background. Well,
a few years ago, one of my daughters that we adopted has a lot of medical issues, and so we had decided to homeschool her for a while. That's one of the reasons why I had kind of cut back on my law practice. And they tried to regulate homeschoolers in Illinois, and I decided to make that kind of an object lesson for my 3 older girls, and I took them with me to Springfield to protest that they were going to try and keep us from being able to have our right to homeschool our own kids. And that day there were 4,000 homeschoolers who showed up in the Illinois Capitol, and I met a lot of other like-minded people, and they decided to form a homeschool PAC, and they asked me to be on the board of that PAC, and that was actually really my foray into politics. And we set up a website for the homeschool PAC, and then when Rick Santorum was running for president, he started looking for someone in the 12th congressional district to be his delegates. And in Illinois, we have to actually run on the ballot as a delegate. So they approached me and asked me if I'd run for him, and I said, sure, why not? The people need to have as many choices as possible. We don't want to have the party leadership dictating who everybody else gets to vote for, and I'll get him on the ballot, and I'll run as a delegate. He was a strong American, conservative. I figured, why not? So I didn't think he would win, but then he did win. He won the 12th congressional district by a lot. So that gave me a ticket to be able to go to the Republican National Convention in Tampa. And then I was able to talk to a lot of my conservative friends, and they put in a good word for me. And Dan Rutherford appointed me to the Republican National Platform Committee. So I was on the platform committee, and that I got to help write the Republican platform and help keep it conservative. So that kind of got me connected with all the politicos in Illinois, and that's what kind of led to some of the other political stuff. So Mike Bost is my neighbor. I've known him for 15 years. I met him at a pro-life dinner in Murfreesboro, and his wife Tracy cuts my hair.
No, she does a good job. You have a beautiful haircut.
Thank you.
There.
That's very kind of you. And so when he was going to run for Congress, of course I was going to help him.
Sure.
So I jumped in and did everything I could. I was an attorney for his campaign. I did some stuff in the Metro East area for ballot integrity that we can talk about in a little bit if you want.
No, we don't have 3 days now. We don't have 3 days to talk about that. Hey, Cherie, it says here that you ran for state's attorney in 2012. What county did you run in?
In Jackson County. That's a pretty Democrat county, and they caucused me in, so I didn't even get in until June. And then I was caught up in an election challenge. I didn't actually get on the ballot until September when the election was in November.
Yeah.
So I was kind of the sacrificial lamb. But, the idea of that was not, I didn't really think I could win, but I wanted to change the conversation that was going on with regard to that election. And I was able to do that.
You know what, Cherie, and you've heard this adage all over, a winner never quits and a quitter never wins. We've got a little promo that says, and I'll paraphrase it, he lost for Congress. He started a business. He lost his business. He ran for vice president. He lost that. He did something else. He lost. But that was Abraham Lincoln, and Abraham Lincoln was not a loser. And what pisses me off in this political settings, somebody will say, I'd like to run. I've got some good ideas, but I don't want to get embarrassed if I lose bad. It's never an embarrassment. You know how many times I've lost? You know how many times people have knocked me down? And you just got to get back up. But good candidates will say, I don't really stand a chance. I'll lose the election and it'll embarrass me. No, it embarrasses me if I don't take the cause that I believe in and fight for it. If I back off, that's embarrassing. But people, listen to Cherie. Get out there and run for office. You've got every right. Maybe you win, maybe you lose, but you can always get your opinions out. You can always get your thoughts out. And that's what we have to do in America. We can't sit back. And I would assume, Cherie, that's what you've decided to do, to run for state senator. Win, lose, or draw. You're going to give it your best, and you're going to fight to win and do something for the 58th Senatorial District of Illinois.
That's absolutely right. Here in Southern Illinois, we're facing a lot of economic issues. The whole state is, obviously. We're bankrupt. We were ranked 50th in a rating of solvency, of state solvency by George Mason University just a week or so ago. So we've got a lot of issues here. And I love Southern Illinois. I love the values here. I love the way that people here love freedom. But ultimately, we choose to live here because of the values, but if we don't have jobs, people can't stay. People are leaving Illinois in droves. My oldest daughter is going to turn 18 later this year. And when I was approached by some of the conservative leaders in the state and they asked me to be the candidate for the 58th and to run, I was like, do I really want to do this? Like you said, do I want to dip my toe? Do I want to go out there and do this? And you really have to think about it very seriously. And I was talking about my daughter and her future. We were talking, she's getting ready to go on college tours and, all that kind of stuff, thinking about what her life is going to be about. And she said that she would really like to get her degree and come back here to Southern Illinois to live because she likes it here just like I do. But she doesn't know if she's going to be able to find a job. And I started thinking about, she's going to get married. She's going to want to buy a house. Our real estate taxes here are astronomical. Whoa. How can a young couple who wants to settle down or raise a family here buy a house? Because the real estate taxes by themselves will price you out of the market. So those are some of the things that Governor Rauner has really been pushing. And one of the factors that played into my decision to run was that I really do want to support Governor Rauner's economic agenda. We have got to get the state back on track. And I think what he's doing, I love the fact that he doesn't flinch. Yeah. He's standing up to the powers that be.
For what he believes in.
Right, exactly. And that's the kind of person I am. I stand up to the powers that be, and I'm looking forward to standing side by side with him and fighting this fight to get our state back.
You know what, Cherie, you just segued into my good friend, our good friend, the St. Clair County's good friend, Mr. Ed Cockrell, because He's an expert. He won't say that, but I'm saying it because he helped me out. He's helped thousands of people out. And Ed, Cherie's running in your state senatorial district. You have anything you need to ask?
I'm out. I'm not running for state senate after hearing that.
Oh, okay. Well, is that the first announcement?
Yeah,
I get it second.
That's the first announcement.
Okay,
that I'm not
I get it here. Okay,
senate, so.
All right.
So you don't have to worry about me being an opponent. Thank you. It's nice to know that we've got people that are willing to get out there and run, Bob. But a very important issue, Cherie, that you're going to have is property taxes, and we feel the pain very bad. I think St. Clair County is ranked second in the country for property taxes being just absolutely deplorable.
Yes.
But what I do as a certified Illinois assessing officer, so I'm qualified to talk like this, okay, according to the state of Illinois. The time is nigh, folks. If you have a problem with your assessment, get ready now. Call me. My cell phone is 618-406-5767. Let's talk about what we can do as far as your assessment. We can't help the tax rates. Now, a lot of these schools are blaming the state. Oh, the state isn't giving us any money. They aren't giving us our money back. So we have to raise our taxes here. Oh, wait just a minute. Let's correct the problem first. But don't always – everybody's for a tax increase except the taxpayers.
Yeah. I always wondered, just like with the telephone, you can't drive it. These politicians get elected. They don't have town hall meetings to say, hey, what do you guys want? They just go up there and vote party lines. Hey, we've got a quick call. I want to take this caller real quick. Mr. Dallas Cook. Dallas, thanks for the call. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, Bob, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to real quick tell you that I wanted to reach out and say thank you to Brendan Kelly, the state's attorney, for his quick action on this ridiculous case. And it's unfortunate it had to go that far. And, there should have never been a newspaper article, but that's what they wanted and that's what they got. And unfortunately, I don't think Rose Wilson's going to go away. She's already called my office this morning. And, I just want to be able to do my job, and I hope I can get the support of everyone so I can carry on. And I'm just very thankful that Brendan Kelly put a stop to this, and I just wanted to let that be known.
Dallas Cook, thank you very much. And Dallas, you did get 2 days on the front page, and I don't think that hurt you one bit, because I think you actually helped the people understand how trivial these bastards are in Belleville, how trivial they are to try to make a criminal charge out of nothing at all. But Dallas, you stood tall. You keep up the good work. I know you're a man, and you're not going to let them scare you. And that's what we need in politics, men and women that aren't going to be intimidated by the culture of corruption. So thank you very much for the call, Dallas.
Thanks, Bob. You nailed it.
Okay. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with the lovely Cherie Langenstein and the not-so-lovely Mr. Ed Cockrell. We'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. You hear me, people? The voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot.
From KQQZ 1190 AM, St. Louis, Missouri, USA, you're listening to Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical radio at its finest, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. With me today, and it is an honor and a privilege, here's a beautiful lady, a very intelligent, educated lady, a lady who's going to run for state senator in the 58th senatorial district for this great state of Illinois. And with her qualifications and experience, Cherie, I honestly wish you the best, because I think you're a little spark plug. I think you'll get out there. It won't be business as usual. If you get elected state senator, will you pledge to everybody in your senatorial district that you'll fight the fight, that you'll fight for us, fight for the people, and not just go up there and vote party lines because somebody tells you to?
Absolutely. That's exactly why I'm running, and that's why people have asked me to run. That's why I'm here, because I don't think that we should have people from Cook County telling us what we should do in our district and what's best for us down here. I'm so sick and tired of good people in Southern Illinois being dominated by the Chicago machine, and there's a Republican machine and there's a Democrat machine, and I know a lot of the Republicans, a lot of them are really good, strong patriots, and they really want to do what's right by the state and by their people. But I'm not going to be held accountable to people in Cook County. I'm held accountable to the people in our district, and that's the only people I'm going to be held accountable to. So I'm so tired of business as usual. A couple of people have talked to me about the governor and how some of the kind of the party establishment people have come to him and said, well, that's just not the way that we do things. Well, that's good. I'm glad that he's doing things in a way that's just not the way that things are usually done.
It needs to be shook up in this state.
Exactly. That it's interesting to me to hear the party insiders saying, well, he just doesn't understand how we do things. Well, exactly. Yeah. That's the whole point. And that's the whole point of why I'm running as well.
Well, good. With you, a gentleman, he's not a gentleman. Maybe he's a gentleman. He's a good friend of mine. He was a great policeman in Centerville and in St. Clair County and over in Iraq, and I salute him for his service over there. Mr. Greg Musgraves. Greg, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Bob. I'm glad to see you still have a face for radio.
Yeah, you better stick with what you're doing. Your comedic career is down the tubes right then. So
comedy's tough.
What's going on in your world, Greg?
Well, I'm a precinct committeeman down in Precinct 22 in Monroe County, and I just wanted to say we're actively recruiting candidates. If you're interested down there in running for any of our countywide offices, I would encourage you to give our Republican Chairman, Bob Elmore, a call. I'm going to give a quick phone number here, 217-652-3623. That's 217-652-3623, and he appreciates calls after 1 a.m.
Yeah, sound like Donald Trump here.
Yeah, really. Well, that does too. What can I tell you?
But you know what, though, Greg? That's good, and I wish everybody would do that. You got to close shop in St. Clair County, especially with the Democrats. But how nice is it to hear somebody like you, and I'm serious, to say, hey, we're looking for the best qualified candidates. We don't care if your daddy was a politician and your grandpa was a politician and all your family ate at the public trough all these years. We want fresh names. We want fresh faces. We want people like Cherie that are going to do something for the people and not just for the politicians. And that's great that you guys are doing that down in Monroe County.
Absolutely. And one of the other things that we're doing, too, is we're kind of a maverick county, and we're finding out that some of our fellow counties, maybe Randolph, Union, some of them down there, we're not going to take business as usual. Yeah. I couldn't agree with Cherie more. For people in Cook County or even Springfield to try to dictate to us what's going to benefit them, and they want us to go along with it. I mean, the marching orders out of the north, those days are done and over. It's not like Sherman's March to the Sea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're just not going to follow the pony just because they say to follow the pony. We're our own people. For years, we haven't gotten any good benefits down below Springfield. It's always what they want to do up there. And I understand that there's certain things that have to be done in certain ways to do it. But I'm here to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, it's not business as usual.
Well, that's good. Cherie, I would guess, Greg, that you guys are going to get behind Cherie for her senatorial race.
Yes, we are. We very much are. Our county chairman down there is very much for her on that. And
you know what?
We're looking for somebody right now that we think would be really strong to run against. I call him Jerry the Kid, but I call him that out of respect because, young Jerry.
Yeah.
We like him. He's a nice guy. But it's time we put a Republican in that position.
I was looking at Cherie Langenstein's credentials, and they are great. And I had an interview with Paul Schimpf when he ran for Attorney General. And I'm just thinking, you Republicans usually fight each other so much you don't have enough strength. Paul Schimpf, I think, would be a great candidate against Jerry Costello. I mean, that's his district, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And we've done some number crunching, and we're pretty sure that with the help of the coalition and some others, that he could win that position if he'd be interested in doing it. But I can't speak for him. I haven't talked to him about it.
Well, Paul, if you're listening, give me a call, because that would be a great spot for you. You're a nice gentleman. You're an educated gentleman. You can run for state rep. This lady here can run for state senate. You guys can all get together, have some harmony, and not fight each other like they're doing. And I don't want to talk about national politics, because if we change politics, it's got to be at the local level. But there again, 16, 18 candidates for president. I mean, that's just going to hurt the Republican Party. But, that's the way to. Cherie, I'm going to give you the last word. What have you say? And I appreciate you coming on, and you're always welcome back through your campaign. Come back anytime you want. Be as transparent as you want. People, we've got thousands of listeners. Dwight Kay told me one time, the state rep from Glen Carbon, said, "Hey, Bob, can I get on your show?" And I said, "Sure, sir." He said, "Every house I go to in Glen Carbon, listen to your show." He says, "I want to save 6 weeks of walking in a pair of shoes." And I would suggest, Cherie, you're welcome anytime. But what is your parting words for all your constituents in the 58th Senatorial District?
When I'm your state senator, I'm going to have a 4-part test on what it is that I'm going to vote for. First of all, is it constitutional? If it's constitutional, then I'll consider voting for it. If it's good for the people of this district, I'll consider voting for it. If it's good for the people overall of the state of Illinois. And finally, do we actually need it? We passed so many laws that are just kind of a repeat of old laws. They're just kind of stupid things, but the books are so filled with things that we just don't need. Please reach out. My Facebook page is going up today. Give
us any information, website. Go ahead with anything you got.
It'll be Cherie for Senate on Facebook. It's going to be electcherie.com. Those are going up in the next few days, so please watch for it. You can always email me, Cherie Langenstein at yahoo.com. It's ShareeLangenstein at yahoo.com, and we'll get you signed up and connected.
And we'll take that information for anybody that doesn't have a pen while they're listening. Give us a call, and we'll be able to forward that information. Greg, you got a final parting word?
One thing I don't think that Cherie has mentioned, and kind of surprises me, 6 kids. She is extremely pro-life.
Okay.
Extremely pro-life. None of this, we can do abortions like some moderate Republicans talk about, up to 16 weeks and all that. There are certain categories, and we understand that. But you're either going to be a Republican or you're not going to be a Republican. And typically we stand on pro-life.
Thank you very much, Greg. Cherie Langenstein, Republican candidate for 58th Senatorial District out of the great state of Illinois. We wish you the best. Ed Cockrell, our good buddy, I wish we had more time. What do you have to say in parting?
Good job, Greg. The Springfield and Belleville are not the Politburo or the Kremlin. They represent us. This is a representative democracy, not a communist state. And Bob, the symmetry excuse that one of these clowns in Belleville used about taking the American flag off the uniform.
What a gay term.
The only thing better than one American flag on uniform would be 2. How's that for symmetry?
Ed Cockrell, a true American. Thank you very much, Mr. Ed Cockrell, County Board member from New Athens Township Supervisor, and a proud member, a hard-working member of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Hey, we're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio, and you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio. And we are, as always, and proud, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. We'll continue, as we do every day, we'll continue to expose these rotten bastards, these politicians. We need public servants. Cherie Langenstein, a true public servant. We need people like her. We need people all throughout this great state, this great country, who are working for this great United States of America, and not for what they can put in their pockets, what they can put in their families' pockets, what they can put in their friends' pockets. People, wise up. Wise up. It's been going on 30, 40, 50 years, especially in St. Clair County. This culture of corruption has killed us, has stopped us in our path. Let's get together. Let's continue to expose these no-good, bastard, rotten, political, perverted punks that we call politicians. Let's drag them over the political coals of hell 2 or 3 times. They deserve even more than that. And finally, at the end of the day is 2016 November. At the end of the day, destroy these bastards, put them out of office so we can get back to a normal way of life, a way of life that we can all citizens can benefit, not just the politicians. Oh, and by the way, destroy them politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha.
The Patriot.
Your First Amendment and All-American station. A division of Insane Broadcasting. Renegade Radio.
KQQZ, St. Louis.